Good evening, my dear learners. Today we are going to discuss about MBA MMPM 002 Sales Management subject. And in this, the topic is role of sales management in business. So we'll discuss about what is business and what is sales management and how the sales management is influencing on business. So generally you can take the history of a business. So if you take 100 years back when we talk about the business, so it started with the production concept. So monopoly in nature. So before industrialization, so the business is just like they produce and it will be survive in the market. So it started with the production concept, and after industrialization, little bit competition started, and this production concept is outdated, and they are discussing about the sales concepts. And because of more awareness and because of the customer choice, the sales top whatever the concept is also outdated, and they are discussing about marketing. And in present scenario, the production concept or sales concept or even marketing concept also outdated, and everyone is discussing about the relationship. So how best you will make a long-term relationship with your prospective business, with your prospective customers will help you. So if you take a overall view of our business, so it is connecting with the technology. So you can see that all the types of business you can take durable products, non-durable products, services, or you can take consumer markets or industrial markets. So any business is the base is present scenario is with the IT. So the information technology is the base for making their business, and we have various source of information and various types of people are involved for making decisions. If you take a generally we are talking about accounting, we are talking about the finance, we are talking about the production and operations management, or we are talking about human resource marketing. Everything is based on the information technology, which is with the support of the day-to-day activities like transaction processing system and the entire enterprise resource planning, whatever we are talking about, the ERP or TPS, these are the bases for making decisions. So you can take the history of the technology, you can see that 100 years it took to reach the common man for electricity or even telephone, or you can talk about the automobile industry. These are the after whatever the discover, so it took almost 100 plus years to reach the common man. But if you talk about internet, you can see this internet within a span of I can say in a span of 20 to 30 years, it is almost covering 80% of the entire population. This is how the technology is influencing towards our business. So in this context, we can say that when we talk about the business, so the business is present scenario is extended with the electronic business or e-business. So it is supporting when you talk about the traditional market, when you talk about traditional business, it is extended with the support of electronic business, where it can have the different elements which are influencing like information management or enterprise resource management or customer relationship management or e-commerce. Earlier we used to talk about, if you take the traditional market, we used to talk about business process re-engineering or total quality management or customer relationship management or even just in time. All these are the different concepts which are definitely influenced. And if you take the business, so normally when we go with the business or when we go with the marketing aspects, we used to talk about 4 P's, like whatever the product or price, place, promotion. These 4 P's now extended with the support of electronic, with the support of technology, with the support of a digital era. So the whatever the 4 P's now we are extended into 4 C's. So whatever we are talking about the product. So earlier we used to talk about anything that can be offered to a need, want or demand. So earlier the marketer or the business people are identified the customer needs, wants or even their demands. But today it is not like that. It is the customer solution. If you talk about the product, so it is replaced with the customer solution. So you have to identify the problems of the customers and you try to provide the solution. This is what you can see that 10 minutes you will get the whatever the requirement of your day-to-day retailing is just 10 minutes you are reaching at your doorstep. This is how the applications are supporting for making their business. So this is how we are identifying the customer problems and we are making solutions. So this is how the product is replaced with the customer solution. And you can talk about the price. The price is the exchange value of the product, that what we used to say. But today it's not your price, it is a customer price. The customer is finalizing the price because he is comparing with the competitors. You can see if you want to make a booking reservation for a train or for a bus or even for a flight also. So every competitor will be on your screen. So you will compare the price and you will take a decision. This is how the customer price, the customer is deciding your price. This is how the product, price and even place. You can see the place. The place earlier the customer has to visit your place, but today you have to go to customer. So this is about customer convenience, we can say. The convenience of customer only you have to supply your products. This is how the third C, which is called as the product, price, place, is customer convenience. And we are talking about the promotion. Nothing but you have to contact the customers. So if you take a customer, so you have to focus on customer with the support of customer relationship management, where we used to talk about the long run relations. This is how the market is in present scenario. If you take whatever the business, it is extended to electronic business, it is extended to online transactions. So definitely we have to talk about the supply chain management. So when you talk about a business, so it is when we started with the production, then it went to the sales, then it went to the marketing, then we are talking about the sales. Now this, with the support of 4 P's, whatever the product, price, place and promotion, we are extended into 4 C's that will be accessed throughout global, where we have to talk about the global supply chain management. So earlier scenario, if you talk about a business, we used to talk about distribution, we used to talk about logistic. In the logistic, we used to say about inbound logistic and outbound logistic. And ultimately, all these are integrated. When you talk about inventory, we used to talk about the first in, first out and last in, first out. But today, the just in time is accessing. And we are talking about the entire process is re-engineering, where we used to talk about the BPR. So the BPR is involved and the quality is involved, the total quality management we are talking. So all these are concepts where you can see the value chain and value delivery system of your business. So you can see this is how the global environment is supporting to make the inter-corporate coordination. You can see the functional shifting, third-party providers, relationship management, supply chain structures, everything is supporting to reach with the interfunctional coordination. So we are talking about the marketing and activity, sales and activity, and research and development also activity. Ultimately, the forecasting or production, purchasing, you can take logistic, every activity which is supporting with the support of the technology, with the support of whatever the digital era is leading to take the customer satisfaction or customer value, or we can say the competitive advantage or profitability. So these are the general things when we say about the value chain, value delivery system for a business. So what we expect is nothing but we will expect the profit, we will expect the satisfaction by the customers, we will expect the value chain, and definitely this will help you to take the sales management. The sales management is nothing but it is the whatever the returns we expect, it is through sales. So if you take a company, so definitely the sales management plays an important role for recruiting their personal sales representatives who are the mediators, who are the sources to convince your market, your business, your customers. So this is how we talk about the value. If you take the sales management definition, so it is nothing but The sales management is the management of activities and process relating to effectively planning, coordinating, implementing, controlling and evaluating an organizational sales performance. So earlier we used to talk about the sales management department is meant for the sales activities, but today the sales management is also effectively helping to plan the entire organizational system with the present scenario of market, what exactly going in the ground level. This is how we used to talk about the sales, where the sales management is a core business process in most organizations. So it is a related role support a company's revenue generation and profits. So if you want to speak about the returns is through your sales only. So when we are talking about an organization, so they definitely expect the profit. So the generation of your profits or generation of your revenues comes only with your sales. So in this context, when we talk about the integrating of all the functionaries like marketing or like finance, human resource, quantitatives, whatever we are talking about functionaries of a business, definitely it will support to strengthen their sales with the support of sales department. This is how the sales management have the goals. So you can take a company, so definitely they will fix the targets. So they expect that every year some 10% growth or 20% growth, or at least they expect that the sales should be increased according to their every year budget. So this is how the managers have the goals. So every manager, every sales management department, so definitely they frame with the sales and they frame with the revenues. So they have ultimately that whatever we are talking about the sales revenues is nothing but they get the profits. So in this context, when we talk about the profits, so definitely we can see the market share also. So if you take a market share, so market share is nothing but how best you will manage your market to capture the market share. So here if you take a 40%, so the 40% once you share in entire market, you will become the leader. So in this context, we have different types of people who are fighting for their market. So in this context, you have to control the internal cost also. So being a sales department, you have unforeseen expenditures, and according to your profit, according to your revenues, according to your sales, so the management will allocate the budget, which is called as a sales department budget or marketing budget. So in this budget, you have to control the internal costs which are unforeseen, and definitely it will help us to take the market. So here when we talk about the goals of what you require to make the market is to make the business is, so knowledge of the sales environment. This is very important in present scenario. If you take a digital market, if you take an online market, if you take a mobile marketing or any type of marketing, so they directly, indirectly supporting to their sales environment. So here if you talk about the sales environment, here we can see that business environment or marketing environment, where you can see that uncontrollable and controllable factors which influence towards your sales. So you can see there is a micro environment or macro environment in your business. So definitely will help you to take the knowledge of the sales environment. And planning for sales, very important that how best you will plan. You will plan for short term or you will plan for long term. So in this context, you have to see that the focus should be always to reach your target. The target is simple, like the organization will make you to take the lead of your profit or sales or even revenues. So in this context, you have to recruit the people who are very motivated towards the sales. So here the major role or major whatever the goals you can obtain, it's based on the recruiting the sales people and training the sales people. Very important, because they are the responsible persons with the support of business, with the support of the company. So they are representing company towards the market, towards the business. So you have to train, you have to recruit the people, proper people towards the managing the sales, like motivating and supervising the sales. These are very essential requirements if you take the sales department, because the entire organization, if you take marketing or finance or human resource, so their target is nothing but to get the profits. The profits comes always with the sales department. So in this sales department, the sales people definitely should be recruited, trained, motivated and supervised to reach their target. This is how we used to talk about the organization, where the sales manager's role is that they should supervise the controlling of entire sales department. So in the sales department, we have different categories of the people who are involved towards the sales of your business. So you have to see the overview of the sales environment, where you can see the supervising or motivating, planning, recruiting, training. These are the activities definitely required to take the sales representatives or sales managers or sales supervisors or whoever the people who are involved to manage the sales. So in this context, you have to see the entire environment of your sales. The sales environment, like what is the past and what is the present. So earlier sales definitely help you to take the future estimation. So here you can see the demand, you can see the supply, and you have to analyze the past and present about your sales, and you have to see the environment, the sales environment. In this sales environment, you have to see that what type of product you are going to supply, and you see that in which stage your product is there, whether your product is in the introduction stage, or your product is in growth stage, or in your product is in maturity stage, or your product is in decline stage. So according to the stage of your product and according to the environment, according to the situation, you have to make the people trained, planned, motivated and recruited or training or motivating or supervising. All these should be with the environment, the sales environment. And you have to see that how the future based on this. You can see when we talk about managing a sales force involves it recruiting, hiring, training, supervising, compensating sales people, motivating them to become the problem solvers. So here very important when we talk about the problem solvers, or when we talk about the providing the proper planning to back up the support to do their jobs properly. So here when we talk about the role of the sales people, so definitely we should support to reach the organizational goals. The organizational goals will be converted into the marketing goals, and the marketing goals will be converted into the sales. So in this context, when the sales management definitely will help you to take the past and present marketing environment and sales environment and internal environment and organizing structure and future targets, future goals should be considered before making the final decision by the sales people. And in this context, when we talk about the different types of sales management, where you can see that the sales volumes are, if you take a few companies, like some selling firms are about maximizing their volume, sales volume, and some will be with over a short sales cycle, like complete over the phone, and some will be go with a months to years to take the sales. This is how the each type of sales involvement required different skills, different activities and different motivational factors or different targets according to the type of sales management. You can see that maximizing sales volume is a routine, like when we talk about non-durable products. So automatically that can be done by increasing their maximizing the sales volume. But you can take some cases where the short sales cycle completed over the phone. So in over a phone call also, you can take the CRM is making very powerful, particularly when we talk about the services market. So with making a phone calls, they try to capture the market. And if you take an industrial market example, if you take an industry, or if you take whatever the business markets, so definitely they will take the decision for sales process is sometimes it will take even years together also. This is how the different types of sales management activities will take place with the support of the people who are trained. And if you take generally, when we say that what type of business we can see, if you talk about the types of sales managements who are involved, when we talk about the business to consumers, so if you take it traditionally, when we say about the business, so it is a consumer market, or if you talk about the business to sales, where we can business to customers, where we can say B2C, so it is called as a consumer market. So in this present, the consumer market is almost, we can say that it is holding with the technology, it is supporting with the whatever we are talking about the supply chain, what we are talking about the customer relationship management, everything is a part of this sales management activities, where the business will go directly with the prospective customers. And in sales, B2B sales management, we used to talk about the industrial management, or we used to talk about the business where it comes with the lengthy process. It will take sometimes even months together. But here the B2B, when we say about online, so this particular business also making lot of market share with the support of technology. And we are talking about even today that all government institutions also, they are working with online, where you can see that business to government. And even government also providing a lot of activities to their prospective citizens, where you can say that business to citizen. And ultimately, the present scenario in marketing, without involving any salespeople also, nowadays the bartering system is going C2C, customer. So exchange of products without involving money. So if you talk about without involving money, when the transaction is making through online, which is called as C2C, which is also called as a bartering system, where the customer to customer without involving money. If the money is involved, either it should be B2C or B2B. This is how the technology is supporting. And ultimately, if you talk about the sales people, so you can see that SaaS sales management, where the software as a service. So these are the companies where the software companies, they are selling their software, their applications to retain their market. This is how we used to talk about the sales management, where the sales management people are involved according to the nature of their product and according to the nature of their business. So here, when we talk about overview of your technology, overview of your business, overview of e-business, so everywhere you can see that the major role plays in an organization by the sales management, and the sales management have the targets or the goals, or we can say that they are the objectives where they have to reach according to the organizational objectives or according to organization estimations. So here the revenue generation is major role. If you talk about the sales management in a business, the major role comes with you have to generate the revenue. You have to increase the sales volume, and automatically it will support to generate the revenue of your company. And definitely these two will help you to take the profits. This is how the objective is interrelated with the revenue, with the sales, which leads to make the profits. This is how the sales department growth is required, and how the market leadership is required. So if you take a market leadership, definitely that whatever the sales department growth indirectly will help you to increase your market share. So this is how we used to talk about the motivating the sales force and other people for making the technology. So here, if you take the present scenario, when we talk about the business, so it is nothing but the CRM is playing an important role to make the sales increasing to retain their prospective customers. So if you take a company, they should practice a market orientation when business process and functions are aligned to maximize effectiveness in the marketplace. So here when we talk about this slide, it is nothing but a profitable customer relationships. So the entire whatever the business is focused to retain your customers. The customers is based on your trust, based on your problem solving, based on your lifetime economic value. That whatever the value I given in the first slide, that entire organization is, the objective is to get the profits with the value. So here the lifetime economic value, problem solving, trust, these will support with your product, price, place and promotion. And this is how the entire whatever the sales management is supporting. The sales force strategy, the sales force selection and training, the sales force evaluation and resource, with the support of information technology, definitely help us to retain your market. This is how the evolution of in present scenario of our business. So here when we talk about the entire organization, the decision support system or decision making, not only by the sales department, the entire organization is very essential in this present cutthroat competition, because of the business is extended to e-business, because of technology, that the mobile phone itself is becoming a part of a market, and with a lot of competition, lot of technology, and lot of we can say different types of solutions. We are talking about the product is extended to customer solutions. So they are identifying the customer problems and they are trying to giving solutions toward the problems whatever the customers are facing, and that is definitely help you to take the decision with the support of government, customers and suppliers, competitors and internal data, and supporting with the software or technology. Everything will help you to take the decision support system where it will help you to take this type of decision. So here the corporate strategy definitely will make you to marketing strategy, and that is ultimately leads with the sales strategy. This is how we used to talk about the hierarchy of business, where you can see the markets, relationships and investment or objectives will be converted entire sales objectives, where you can see the marketing and sales work together to create the overall marketing strategy for our business. So in this context, when you talk about the sales management, the sales management objective is very clear. So they should capture the market. So the marketing structure is simple. If you capture the 40% of your market, you will become leader. So 40% is a leader, and 30% is a challenger, and 40% is a follower. So based on the sales department, the business, the e-business should take a decision to make a successful sales management in an organization. Thank you.